So anyway, what we're doing today is we are live streaming from the Mithras Temple, and we're here right at Karawabara. There we go. So as you can see, we are here. We've been to one other Mithras temple, which is also where they used to do ceremonies to Aeon. But in the background here, you can see Jules and Ken. They're at the Mithras temple. I don't know if we will drop out, but we will do our best to live stream this for you. It is quite amazing. It is windy everywhere, and as soon as we've come to the Mithras temple, it's gone calm and quiet. So let me take you around and let me explain this to you a little bit. It's not far off the road, so if you do make the effort to come here, it's a wonderful experience. Right? It's a very short walk off the road, and there's even a gentleman making hot chocolates and coffees. So let's come with me, and I'll walk you in here. I'm just doing a live, guys, to YouTube. Say hello to the world. Say hello world. There we go. My two intrepid.
The Temple of
Mithras. Yeah, close, but no Cupid doll for Gimme. All right, so as you can see, my hair was very blown around up there, but here it's still. They've picked a place that has high energy, right? You can usually tell a high energy sacred place because it will go still as you walk into it. Like many of the Aboriginal sites on the Gold Coast, you know you're in a sacred site because it goes still and it feels like spirit is watching you. What is really interesting about this site is it's the second one that we've visited since we've been to the UK, and both are maintained and contributed to. Right, they've got Heritage Lotto Foundation here. See the Heritage Lotto Foundation and the National Trust, but it's heavily supported by the Bloombergs, one of the richest families in the UK. Right, if anybody knows the Bloombergs, you know they've made all their money through financial advice, and they maintain 2 Mithras temples. Interesting. So let's have a look at this. As we can see, Ken and Jules are over there at the moment. Right, actually in the Mithras temple, set out pretty well strategically the way that Mithras temples always are. I'm going to turn the camera around so I can show you the right way around. So there we have them inside the Mithras temple. Right, so there's the colonnades down the side. They're set out on a base 7 because they're Hermetic in structure, but they're a representation of our solar system and the universe, very hermetically based. As we can see here, all we know about Mithras temples, because they wrote nothing down, it was a very secretive society, is what we have found from digs like this. So we owe a lot to our knowledge of Mithras from digs like this. We know that there was an outer chamber where people would be brought to have their initiation, and then there were 7 degrees of initiations, just as you do with a Hermetic working, that people sat outside the colonnades, and that there were 7 pillars on each side of the colonnades inside. That inside the temple there was a statue or an image of Mithras, and underneath it we have our Taurus, right, which is a little diagram of the universe and time. We're now starting to understand that Mithras is very much associated with not only a journey into spirituality, but a journey through time. He's considered to be the god of the Roman soldiers because the Roman soldiers worshipped him. He was very popular during the 1st and 2nd centuries AD. And then the Roman emperors made Christianity the state religion, and the Christians started persecuting the Mithras temples. Many of them went underground and into hiding. But part of the worship of Mithras temple was a ceremony where you went underground in order to experience the universe. So it was like sensory isolation. But we also know that if you do want to have a clear view of the stars during the day, that you place yourself underground in a shadow and you can see the stars. All right, so were you going to say something, Jules, that you've just experienced? She's got outside the fort, a civilian settlement had several shrines, including a temple to the god Mithras that flourished between 200 and 350 AD. Yeah, so
Probably one of the oldest ones.
Yeah, so we are very lucky to have this. We're very grateful to the Bloombergs for preserving this for us, but it also makes us realise that how on track we are with our Mithraic understanding with our Hermetics, our modern planetary Hermetics that we do today. Mithras was very much like a lot of the metaphors were associated with the god soul, the slaying of the bull, right, or the bull of heaven, as we know that goes back to Babylonian times. And of course, this was actually a Persian teaching that came into Rome as well, which is probably why it was not adopted as the state religion. Let's go have a little walk around the temple. All right, so we are approaching the outer door. So if you're an initiate, for your first initiation, understanding nothing of the universe or the solar system, you would be brought here in secrecy. Right? If you didn't answer the right questions, you knew it was about sacrifice, and you'd be afraid that you're about to be sacrificed. In front of us, right, we can see that there are pillars. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pillars. And we did notice the other day, and there's 2 either side, so it's 10, so it represents 10. So Mithras is always a relationship of 7 to 10. But when we were at the Rosslyn Chapel the other day, we found that it was, Rosslyn Chapel, we had 8s and 5s everywhere, so it was the phi ratio, whereas this is more about the ratio of 7s. What's your impression of the temple, Wilsey?
It's great, and it seems to be semi-Masonic, according to the ritual that I just saw on that board up there.
Yeah, there is a lot of Masonic echoes in this temple as well. All right, so down the side we have our columns as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns down here. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, but we've got 6, and the one that you entered in through makes 7. So if we go from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have the altars up here, and the altars usually always have a dedication from the person who has set them up. So we see that people have left offerings here. There we go, isn't that amazing? So even today, you think you're the only person worshipping Mithras around, and you can see how much Mithras does mean to people. So the fact we're being watched. There's a spy. Yeah, so I think we should put a little offering up there as well. Have you got an offering? There we go. Got an offering. Leave an offering up there. I did have a rock from Rosslyn in my pocket, which I was going to bring here. I think I've left that back at the car. I'll come down later with a little rock from Rosslyn Chapel and leave that here. But it's so lovely to see that so many people are leaving. It's at like a 50-cent piece.
Yeah, I just thought it was.
Yeah. And I love this. People have left things that mean something to them. The badge, which is the rose, right? Obviously, the VW Life camping people. But there's shells and there's feathers and there's bones and things that mean a lot to people. But Mithras was very much about enriching the people that followed him. So enriching them not only with money, but also enriching them with an understanding of the universe. Oh, and my coffee has miraculously disappeared. Somebody took my coffee. It's gone.
You left it somewhere.
So we have some lovely. Yes, and you'd like to make a comment as well, would you? Right.
Answering the question.
What do you think of Mithras and sacrifice? Okay then. But even these little pillars, perfectly preserved. There is as you can see, these are cut all the way through. They would be letting light, or the light of the universe, in, representing soul, right? Or the light from the sun coming into the temple. And there is a space behind the altar as well. So there you have it. So you've come with me today to the ancient Mithras temple, right, that's here at Karawabara. Yeah, and we've got to stand inside the Mithras temple together. Right. So imagine yourself being in here. The initiate, you're an initiate that comes up here, and then we have the people who have been long-time members sitting here on the side in the grassy bed. Once all of the workings were done, oh, this looks like a Mithras stand. Quite often Mithras's head was separate to his body. So we have a headless Mithras statue here. Right? And there is also a blending between Mithras and Dionysus as well. So there you go. Well, thank you for joining me today. I know this was a live without a warning, that we've just gone straight live and we haven't let anybody know we were going to do this. There's a few people that knew we were coming to the Temple of Mithras. But thank you for joining us here today. There are other people and we should let them have their moment as well. So thank you for joining us and coming with us on the Temple of Mithras today.